right, ladies and gentlemen, we have got more news of Geonosis territory battles coming down the pipeline today. I'm really interested to see what you guys think about this. It's funny, I just posted a video. I'm like, I'm going to be positive from here on out, and it's being tested right away. I think in general, Platoons is just a subject that we get kind of touchy about. It's a mechanic that I've never been a big fan of, especially when it comes to how marquee characters have been utilized in there. But whatever the case is, I think we can kind of expect it to be handled in a similar way than it has been before, especially from like the requirement standpoint, and you've got kind of a dilemma of who you're going to have to send in there versus who you're going to use for platoons. And so it looks like that's going to definitely be ramped up for this next one. In particular, we're going to have Darth Revan, Darth Malak, and General Grievous, and other meta characters, Bastila Fallen, etc., included in these platoons. Now, the one thing that I do like is they're removing the surprise mechanics part of that, and they're going to be streamlining what the platoons are. And so we've got a spreadsheet here I'll show you in a second that just basically tells you this is exactly what the platoons are going to be for the life cycle of this game mode. And so without any further ado, let's get to Top Hat's post here. We'll unpack this a little bit. He says, we wanted to reach out to you and give you an update on how platoons will work in Geonosis territory battles. Our plan for platoons is to make them static in all phases. Now, first of all, while I'm not a fan of the decision to include characters like Darth Revan, personally, I think this is a good move to keep them static because we're going to know what to expect. It's something we can strategically plan for each time because we're going to need to identify exactly how many Darth Revans can we afford to put in platoons, who are the members of the guild that can manage the combat missions they need to manage without their Darth Revans, and then they're going to be the ones to do that. So it's going to help guilds plan for this evil, so to speak, a little bit more effectively. So props for that. I think that having static platoons is a very good thing. However, given that this represents the most endgame of endgame content, that the platoon abilities are key to victory, and that platoon victories, that platoon abilities are key to victory at this time, we wanted to make this strategic trade-off between using a character in a platoon and using the character in combat in a meaningful decision. It's meaningful. This is it's gonna just really strike, your heart here. It's a very meaningful decision to make. This results in many desirable characters being included in platoons, such as Darth Malak, Darth Revan, General Grievous, etc. Additionally, the number of each of these required will increase as the phases increase. So as it gets harder, it's also going to require more of the characters that you want to use. Our goal is to alleviate some of the inter-guild planning while also challenging players' rosters. This is challenging. All right. As a related side note, and this is also something I'm okay with this. I don't love it, but I think it kind of makes sense. I'm not surprised. There are star requirements for each phase, and phase 1 and 2 are 6-star requirements, so you can't take anything under 5 stars into this game mode whatsoever, and then 7 stars for both phase 3 and phase 4. So in other words, if a new marquee character comes out, you're not going to be able to use them unless you buy the character at least to 6 stars. And then they've got the platoon detailed list here, which we'll get to here in a second. And we will review this platoon strategy in the future, likely with the launch of additional territory battle content. At that time, we will make changes if they are warranted. See you on the Holo tables. And so here we go. We can look at exactly what these are. It's a Google spreadsheet. You can trust it. They're not going to virus you. But right away, look at this. You can see here, this is view only. We got a lot of people here looking at this. We got 37 people here looking at this right now, including myself. And so look at this. This is just phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. And Old Dak is the first one. You basically got all the Night Sisters. Boom, right away. You've got a good Sith team. Boom, right away. You got HK-47 in there right away. You got Range Trooper. I mean, where's the first bad character? None of these characters. Maybe IG-86, there's a character you can live without. Phasma, there's a character you can maybe live without. You got a bunch of First Order there. You got your Bounty Hunters. You've got Gar Saxon. I could probably manage without Gar. There's another Bastila Fallen Dark. You've got Darth Nihilus, Sith Assassin. You've got HK again. You got another Night Sister team. This is just phase 1, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, look at, there's Bosk, there's Wampa, Jango Fett. Every single character in here is looking like somebody that you're going to want. There's not very many. I mean, you got over down here, so this is nice. You got a few there that aren't going to be as needed, but the percentage, and this is just phase 1, the percentage of characters that are good versus the characters that are more passable and characters that you might go, yeah, I can put them in a platoon, is a bit disappointing. I think this is going to look like it's going to be very challenging to manage. Just in phase 1. Let's look at phase 2. There we go. So we've got some ships here. We've got Slave 1. We've got the Ebon Hawk, of course. Lando's Millennium Falcon. Ahsoka Tano's Starfighter. We got, I think ships is, I mean, there's only so much you can do with ships. Let's see. Do we got a Houndstooth? We got another Ebon Hawk in there. Slave 1. Xanadu Blood. Xanadu Blood, however you say that. Okay, interesting. And then here we go. Here's our character ship. Platoons. General Grievous right away. It's pretty similar percentage. And let's see how many Darth Revans we can count in phase 4, for example. So we've got, interesting. So we've got ships in both phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4. Lots of ships. That's notable. So ships in all 3 phases at the end, just not in phase 1. It would seem. And so, okay, let's do a Command F, Darth Revan. 16! Oh my goodness. You need 16 Darth Revans. 16 Darth Revans on the last day. Let's try Malak. 13 Darth Malaks. Let's try Bastila. Okay, only 2 Bastilas. Who's another one? Traya. 4 Trayas. My gosh. Darth Revan, though. 16 Darth Revans will not be usable on the last day. And let's see where that scales. Let's look by these days. So 14, 11, and 2 on the first day. So phase 2, you go straight to 11, then 14, then 16 Darth Revans, 13 Malaks on the last day, 8 on day 3, and then none on the first 2 days. And so, very interesting. So there's a lot to unpack here. I'm not a big fan of that number of Darth Revans, but that said, very endgame content. The star requirement makes a little more sense to me. I feel like, that's how raids are, right? If you want to take a good character into the endgame of endgame content right now, which is the heroic Sith raid, you're going to need to have a 7-star character. And so comparing, is it an apples to apples comparison? But if we're going to compare it to the existing iteration of territory battles, then part of me feels a bit outraged that we're not able to take in the lower star characters in the first few phases. But I also kind of respect it because it's super, super endgame content. And we know this is going to be tough, but man, they are really, really doing their best to cripple your rosters here with this, and with how difficult I'm sure these combat missions are going to be. And with that many Darth Revans, just as one example, and Darth Malak's taken out of there, how challenging is it going to be? Very challenging. And we kind of knew that. They told us that the top, highest end guilds are going to struggle to get 20 to 24 stars on this thing. And so I would definitely be ready for Separatist Might, Geonosis territory battles, to be a real doozy and to really be frustrating at first. I'm kind of ready to go in there and just be pissed. That's kind of how we were with Darkside territory battles when that first hit. That's how we were with the Sith Raid when it first hit. But something to bear in mind is with all of this PvE content we've gotten, they continue to push out challenging content. It's going to take a little bit of time to even itself. It's going to take a little bit of time to even itself, and we will get there. Just give it time and be patient. I'm going to be streaming it. We'll be doing our best to keep up all the game changers, or lack thereof, will be doing their best to keep you guys informed on what strategies we're hearing about and what we're seeing that works, etc. But that's just food for thought. So, ladies and gentlemen, what are some of your thoughts on this post? Those of you who are getting ready for territory battles, who feels good about this? Who feels bad about this? What are your guilds talking about? Definitely let me know down in the comments below. I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say. We're going to have to wait and see what this game mode looks like. I think it's a real question mark right now. More importantly than anything, while I'm happy that they've made the platoon static. I'm not so happy about the number of Darth Revans, but I'm just really excited to have some new PvE content. I think it's something that this game has really needed, and I really hope more than anything that they get this more exciting than the first iteration of territory battles was. I think that game mode just fell flat so fast, and so having territory battles be the next PvE content we get, I have my hesitations. But if they can really nail this and make this exciting, I mean, we've got a lot of potential here. I think they've already teased a lot of that potential. Then I'm optimistic this could be really exciting. Just obviously a massive challenge, and with your rosters nerfed this much with platoons, definitely going to add to that. So again, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and as always, my brothers, don't forget
my dead body.